go kill these guys.
That one's always looking at me.
No, we're not.
There's been many great enemies to lover pairings we've had recently. A lot of them actually hella diverse. We have Nashuri, which for those you guys don't know is Namor and Shuri from Black Panther. We have Echo and Jinx, aka Time Bomb. And strangely of all things, and I never thought I would think of this type of pairing, we have Aang and Azula, not Zutara. Trust me, I'm making a video actually later this month on why Zutara is not enemies to lovers, it's rivals to lovers, and also how it wouldn't work. But we have a new entry in this like really diversely growing little group, and it is Rumi and Jinu, aka our tragic lovers from K-Pop Demon Hunters. Y'all, I love them, and I can't wait to go ahead and review this movie. So let's go ahead and just hop right into it. Hey you guys, it's Ray, future Ray in editing. So I had just gotten done basically recording this whole video and realized I did not put a spoiler warning at the beginning. So here's your spoiler warning. I deeply apologize. Also, if I sound weird in this video, it's honestly because I'm trying a new format, such as like a new script and all that with notes. So I apologize if I sound a little weird, and I apologize for not putting the spoiler warning in before I was recording. Okay, now let's get into the video. Hello everybody, welcome to the video. It's your girl Ray, your favorite queer, black, pop culture critic, media nerd, and professional side-eye distributor. Here on my channel, we break down TV shows, movies, books, and whatever mess Hollywood just loves to throw at us, while asking the real questions, like where are the black queer characters that don't get killed off in episode 2? And like also, who approved the script, which is another question that we all know that we'll be asking. Look, if you love deep dives, hot takes, and lovingly dragging your faves for the greater good of representation, you are in the right place. Buckle up, stay hydrated, and let's get into this media mess together. So, K-Pop Demon Hunters, how would I describe this movie? It is awesome. I absolutely love this movie. It's not perfect. Like, full disclosure, I personally don't feel as if it's perfect, but it is really good. It sets a golden standard on original IP work, which I hope Sony does kind of, decide to improve upon, expand. I just don't want it to go the way certain movies to TV shows to, secondary movies tend to follow in pattern. Because also, people who want a second movie or like a TV show, y'all do know it took them 7 years, technically speaking 10, because they had to pitch it and everything. Y'all do know it took them 7 years to make this. I'm not saying that I would not wait for this, because I definitely would. This is a movie that I know you guys would adore. It's honestly worth the wait if they do get a second movie. But I feel like there are some things that it can improve upon, and some things that needs to be talked about more. Because here's the thing, while the world building is good, it's not perfect. Of course, nothing is perfect, but there are certain aspects, in my opinion, that need better explanation or like the movie was a very good foundation. Don't get me wrong, but it's like at the end, I still came out with more questions in certain aspects than answers. So let's honestly just break down this movie and talk about it. And as you guys are here, listen to my thoughts. So the main plot of K-Pop Demon Hunters is like, for centuries, demons have been feasting on the souls of humans, which I love. I love that premise, to feed, their ruler Gima. And in the end, 3 women rose up to become demon hunters. And I love that they used music. This is a unique aspect because we're so used to people like having swords, different type of weapons to kill demons, to kill monsters. But the fact that these women chose to use music and song is a good change of pace. However, they don't really explain how they discovered this. Or nor do they explain what is it about the music that seals the demons away? Now they do kind of hint that, oh, it's like a joint connection, like because think of it this way: music is a way for people to come together, to join together. And personally, I kind of interpreted that as with their songs, with their different types of musical styles, they were able to bring the different types of people around the world together. And thus, we're able to have like one big, how do I explain it? How do I explain this? Like, music is probably one of the things that can unify a group of diverse people. Let's think of it that way. And I like that. And when they made the Honmoon, I like that you see throughout the generations that each trio that is chosen as hunters have a unique voice, have a unique pattern. Now, I do have a little bit of a critique about this, their 90s version, which I will get into later in the film. But I love how they show that music has to be adapted. Like, every group has to adapt, because just like how, music changes, so do the demons. So in the present day, we have Huntrix, and I'm going to fully be honest with y'all. My favorite is Rumi, not just because she's the title main character, though I do feel like they kind of, I understand that she is the main character, but there were several times and I'm like, y'all can't do stuff without her. Like, I understand Mira and Zoe, were there for her support, but it's like, y'all can't do certain things without her. And then they also don't really explain when it comes to Rumi that what exactly makes her more powerful than the others. Other than her technically speaking being, the daughter of a previous hunter. But I kind of feel like there's certain aspects that Mira and Zoe could be better than Rumi. Just my opinion. I will get into like what I mean later on to the film. But that introduction, with them when they are like on the plane, fabulous. 10 out of 10. I will say though, how it's done is not in my top 10. Top 10 is only like 11 songs. It's not in like my top 3, but it is in my top 5. If anything, it's number 4 for me. Like, for me, not Takedown. I'm thinking of another song. If anything, how it's done is number 4 for me. On like the top songs. I will explain what my other favorites are. I kind of already revealed which one of them are. Anyway, we as they're performing their new, performing and getting ready to show off on their new single Golden, Rumi starts to lose her voice. And one of the things that people talked about, I saw online, was like they didn't understand why she why she started to lose her voice now. And I believe it's honestly pretty simple. Because she's pushing herself and she is singing about something she is not. Like, the whole point of Golden is, revealing who you truly are, revealing your hidden self, revealing your secrets. And Rumi has not done that. Rumi, that is literally how she's pronounced. I keep wanting to say Remy, like that stupid mouse, but no, it's Rumi. Rumi is keeping a big secret. The fact that she's, part demon, which I'm not gonna lie, I saw that coming from a mile away. Because there's no way that they were not gonna have a story about, a guy who was a demon falling in love with a demon slayer, and one of them was not going to be part demon. I knew that was coming from a mile away. Also, the official art that they had before that they got, released before the movie came out, definitely also gave that away. But anyway, I feel, and this is just my opinion, them revealing her to be part demon this early, like when she has, when she is trying to sing Golden and she can't hit that high note, and instead her marks start showing more. I feel like that was too early. And I believe that they should have revealed that secret about her being part demon later with the Saja boys, with that fight in the bathhouse. Because obviously, Genu didn't know, which I will get to in a minute. Gima apparently knows. I'm getting ahead of myself. But the thing that makes no sense in my opinion is that they don't, the whole reason why they're pushing for, you know, the golden honeymoon is because Celine has got it into Rumi's head that in order to make, like, once they make the honeymoon gold, all her demon marks are going to be erased. But there is no precedent for this. Like, I was arguing with this with my sister when we were watching it and reviewing it. BT dubs, it's over on my Patreon right now. It's 3.5 hours long. It's 3.5 hours long. But I was arguing with my sister about this, how, like, it makes no sense that Celine believes that sealing the honeymoon and making it gold is going to erase her demon marks when there is no precedent for this. Like, for all we know, Rumi is the first demon hybrid. So, like, she's just going off of vibes and hoping that this works. But for all we know, it literally could end up killing Rumi. And I don't think Celine, honestly, personally, the way that she acted the limited times that we saw her in this movie, personally, I don't think she would have cared. Like, I honestly think that besides Gima, Celine was another big bad. In this movie. And I'm not saying she's evil or anything. I just think that she's just been so blinded by grief about what happened to Rumi's mother, which we do not know. We don't know anything that happened to Rumi's mother. We don't know what happened to her father. We also don't know who her father is, though a lot of people jump on the bandwagon that, oh, it must be Gima. Trust me, do you think Gima would be fighting this hard for total world domination if it was his daughter? Like, literally, if it was his daughter, who is up on the surface world below. No. Like, if anything, he would be trying to manipulate her to get her to, you know, open it more so he can get more souls. I personally kind of like the idea that her father is unknown, because it keeps a good mystery. And also, a lot of people just jump wanting, you know, oh, golden, Rumi talks about being on a throne, she's a princess. We don't even know if Gima even has, like, a physical body. Like, he's the one demon that, like, out of all the demons that we see, who is just a spirit. Like, he's just that purple pink fire in the underworld. So maybe he has a physical body. I mean, we'll never know, because allegedly he got destroyed at the end of the film. So anyway, in the demon realm, Gima is, like, angry. So then Jinu, who, I'm not gonna lie, when I heard him sing, and then I heard his voice actor cover Free, I was like, why didn't y'all just let him voice his singing voice? Probably because I don't think he can, wait, no. So his voice, so you're saying his actual voice actor was a idol in training. If I recall correctly, his actual voice actor was an idol in training, but he just went into acting and, you know, he became the god over there. I love his TV shows. I love them. And so I can understand why, I guess, they wanted to keep it separate, because I want to say all of them have different singing and speaking voice actors, which is what most musical shows, movies do. Honestly, there's not much of a difference. But the way the way Jinu is like, yeah, so you guys are going about this the wrong way. We need to be smart. We need to think like the Hunters. Let's make a boy group.
Go after the very thing that powers the honeymoon. The fans.
And I love how Gima is all like, that can't be possible. That won't work. And then they do this. And then the demons are instantly like, oh yeah, that's definitely gonna work. Of course it's gonna work. Like my sister and I were busting out laughing, because we're like, of course it's going to work. You send cute dudes up to the surface world who can sing and dance. I mean, yeah, they have no soul, but still, they can sing and dance. Of course that's gonna work. Which also makes me wonder, why didn't you guys think of this before? Like, I don't understand. Why did nobody think of this before? Like, why didn't nobody think of this idea before about having a boy band? Because I'm not saying hindsight is not 2020, but if I'm the Demon King And I see that my enemies are keeping me away from my goal, which is, stealing souls. And they're doing it with music. The easiest and best way to counter that is to make a group of demon boy band. Let's make a demon boy band, or like a demon group of singers, to then counter them. Because and also here's how I know they haven't done this before. Because all the girls seem confused and shocked that this is where the demons have resorted to. And when they perform, wait, before we talk about that performance of Soda Pop, I saw somebody on Twitter say, I bet Genu had those boys like this.
Come on, break on the ball! Got one guy breaking on the ball! No, Terrell, run the route again! Damn it, it's cut! You don't have anybody to flat!
Like, I can totally see Genu having his foot on those guys' necks, saying, we are not stopping until you guys memorize the steps, the lyrics, the beat, everything. You guys are not resting. No souls for you. And I love that. I love how Genu's are like, y'all ain't embarrassing me up there in the surface world. But we also, right before they go up, we learn that Genu honestly has memories. And his memories is about his human life, and he wants them erased. So when they go up to the surface world, they don't hide that easily that they're demons. Which is another thing that makes me wonder, do the humans not fully understand magic, or what's going on? Because Huntrix dropped out of a plane, or dropped out of the sky with no injuries from 50,000 feet up at the beginning of the film. And then during Soda Pop, the dudes are terraforming the world to make it all pastel and everything. And none of the humans thought that was weird. Okay. I mean, if there's one thing that I have learned early on between this and Sinners, is that we humans will sell our souls for a good toe-tapping beat. Am I wrong? Of course not. Anyway, so when the girls go to encounter the boys and they fight them, this is when I say that it would have made more sense for Rumi's demon nature to be exposed now versus early on in the film, because even Genu is shocked. And when he goes down, down to talk to Gima is like, yeah, there's this person up on the top who has my marks, but I can't control her. So I'm like, you know about Rumi, and you haven't said anything. You haven't had a better plan of attack until now. If Genu didn't come up with this idea, would you guys have, I don't know, just continue to fail? I'm just saying, it makes no sense that if you guys were fighting for this long, for hundreds of years, mind you, you haven't come up with a better plan than just, tearing a hole in the veil for a couple minutes and then letting them to go up to fight the hunters and then coming back down. Which, by the way, the demons don't die. Which is, I do find interesting. The demons don't die. Instead, they're sent back, I guess, to their underworld. And by the way, because this is Korean folklore, there is no hell, okay? Because I've seen people talk about that online. There is no such thing as hell and no such thing as heaven, basically, especially because those are Christianity terms. They do have an afterlife and an underworld, but it's completely different than how, Christianity and other Abrahamic religions, consider heaven or hell, the afterlife and the underworld, all that stuff. If anything, I believe it's more closer to how Greek mythos is. I gotta check my sources on that, but I'm pretty sure the afterlife and the underworld is more Korean style. The Korean version of the afterlife and the underworld is more so in turn to the Greek mythos, where it's basically all together but just divided like a giant pie, which also makes more sense because why would. Anyway, I'm starting to ramble again. Anyway, so Genu then meets with Remy and he talks about how all sad and everything, by the way. Imagine he's sad while he's saying this. He's like, yeah, we're enslaved by feelings of shame and sorrow. And Gima, it like makes it even worse by constantly whispering in our minds. And by the way, 200 years, he's 200 years old. 200 years ago, no, not 200, 400, sorry, typo with my notes. But he's like, 400 years ago, my family was living in poverty. And so I made a deal with Gima, and he decided to accept my offer, and he gave me a beautiful voice. But then when my family came in and everything, I died. And now I live with regret because my family got kicked out after I died.
Something's going on. I can smell it.
Yes, it's a very distinct smell. It's a smell of bullshit.
Which I'm like, how old are you? And like when I say he doesn't look that much older, like I'm assuming everybody here is like in their 20s. They're obviously not teenagers. They're living on their own and stuff, you know, paying bills and having freaking airplanes with their faces on it and all that stuff. They're also super rich. I would assume that they're also super rich. Anyway, how old are you? The whole question I had while he was doing, sorry you guys, if you guys hear scratching, it's my dog in the back. I'm like, how old are you? Besides being 400 years old, because it then ties the question of, did you die young? I'm assuming he died young, but then it goes to a very dark question of how did he die? It's like this is small aspects of world building, which I believe they could have increased, they could have laid a better groundwork for. Because if he would have said like after this, oh yeah, I died, I died young and my family was then kicked out afterwards, that would make sense. But he just says, he basically just says that my family got kicked out of the palace. Okay, I guess, strange. Anyway, as we continue, so Huntrix decides then to use the Idol Awards, which is what they were going to use in the beginning, as a way to basically fight the Saja boys. And can we talk about the Saja boys for a quick second? Mine is Genu. Each one of them are both so funny and so freaking pathetic at the same time, because you have freaking Romance and God, what's his name? You have Romance and the dude who plays Muscles. I forget what his actual thing, like what his actual name is, but Romance and Muscles are apparently both together or something. I've seen the picture. You guys cannot tell me otherwise. Freaking Baby only has like one line, but I saw somebody tweet like Baby wasn't allowed to talk because he'd been saying some things. And I also saw something when somebody compared Baby's raps to Zoe's, because Baby's raps sound a lot more artificial, like, you know, fake, rather than Zoe's that sound a lot more flowy and organic. And then you had Romance. No, are we talking about Romance? Yeah, it was Romance. I feel like I missed Mystery. That's what I'm thinking about. Mystery don't do nothing. He just barks. Mystery just barks at people, which, okay, go off, I guess. So the girls then decide to write Takedown, which is in my top 3. Honestly, Takedown is number 2? No, Takedown's number 3 for me. Yeah, Takedown's number 3 in my like top 3 favorite songs, because you can clearly understand the lyrics of what they were trying to do, but this is also why Rumi was not able to like hit that high note in Golden, because she's singing against herself. She's singing against what should be a part, basically what should be a part of her, because she is half demon. And she's talking about, you know, so evil, so devious, you know, can't look you in the eye. I'm not gonna lie, I don't have the lyrics in front of me right now. But like the lyrics of Takedown directly could affect her in the same way, because Mirror is also very, very clear. Yeah, I just want to kill demons. All demons are nasty, which also ties to prejudice, because these girls, all they've known are evil demons. Like, they don't know that demons have, technically speaking, have souls, or that they were human, and they're like, probably I can 1000% agree with you that Celine did not fully explain to the girls that, yeah, demons were humans that died with shame and humiliation and like hatred in their heart. And that's why they're demons. They just think they're just people, they're just things, most likely, that want to destroy the world.
Let me pretend I care. Okay, I'm done.
And so Rumi, you know, talks about it with Jinu. And that's when we, oh my gosh, that's when we have one of the best songs, Free. And I know you guys are gonna kill me, but Free is not in my top 3. I'm so sorry. I am so sorry. Okay, Free, let me redo my listing, because Takedown is number 3, Free then would be number 4, and How It's Done would then be number 5. And the way I was freaking sobbing doing through, I can't even talk because I'm getting so emotional. The way I was sobbing during Free was just, oh, and the lyrics. And this is what I mean when I say, like, they were very clearly, I knew once they sang this song, I'm like, yeah, one of them about to die. One of them's about to die. Because if there's one thing I know about freaking musical TV shows or movies that have, you know, like the, oh, professing our love type of, you know, song, one of them about to die. One of them is about to die. Though I will admit, he did redeem himself in the end, okay? He did redeem himself in the end. Anyway, after that, Jinu then gets like sucked down into the middle, you know, back into the underworld. And that's when we learn the truth that not only, like, he did not sacrifice himself for his family. He willingly abandoned them. But here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. I did some digging through one of my friends on Twitter who did like a very good thread. If I can find their tweet, I thought I had it saved, but if I can find their tweet, I'm going to post screenshots of it here. And she basically talks about how during that time period that Jinu was alive, the king's word was law. Obviously, the king's word was law. He was seen as divine, and he directly only invited Jinu by himself into the palace. And by Jinu only having the invitation, he could not bring his family. Because it would be seen as basically like overriding the king and adding something to the king's decree, which was, you know, obviously not allowed. So he was forced to leave them. And in his mind, Jinu's mind, he, you know, sees it as he betrayed them, which now, you know, when you realize, oh yeah, the dude died young, it makes sense. He most likely died out of stress and out of worry. And, you know, also another thing my sister pointed out is that if you go back to the beginning of the film, the woman and the little girl in the beginning look very much like Jinu's mother and sister. I'm not saying that's not them, but if that is them, that means like they were the first people that got saved by, you know, the original K-Pop Demon Hunters. Which, you know, does make sense and is about the correct timeline, so maybe. But then, unfortunately, though, this does bring Jinu back into Gima's fold, because Gima's like, hey, if you don't do what I want, I will bring the voices back, and I'll bring them back in full force. So he has to do, you know, what Gima says. And so at the awards, the Saja boys, you know, don't appear. And at first, HUNTR performs Golden. However, I really do like this on how they get Remy, while Remy is performing, Zoe and Mira get lured away by demons, and then they trick Rumi into performing Takedown. But during so, they reveal her demon marks, and she and she has a freak out, and she like basically destroys the stage and all that. Which I'm like, again, people do not see this. I shouldn't be laughing, but I'm like, are you guys not paying attention to the clear magic going around you? I guess not. But then when she runs behind stage and she sees the real Mira and Zoe, obviously they feel betrayed because she did not tell them this. And then she reveals that she was working with Jinu, because in Black, because like I said earlier, in Mira and Zoe's minds, all they know is that demons are evil, demons are bad. They don't know that they're just people who have been corrupted and have, you know, unfortunately their souls have been, you know, messed up. And then you get this scene where they like raise their weapons at her, and I saw so many, oh my gosh, when I tell you I saw so many people saying that, oh, they can never be friends with Mira and Zoe after this. Oh, Mira and Zoe, like Zoe completely destroyed their trust, their trust, and they could never ever be friends with them again. I'm like, would y'all take a deep breath, okay? Because first of all, like I said, these are girls who we don't know much about their backstory, but all they know is that demons are evil. And so they just learned in a span of like 5 seconds that not only was their best friend half demon, but she was colluding with the leader of the demons that was sent there to destroy the Hun Moon. So of course they're going to be terrified and upset and not knowing what else to do. And you can clearly see also that they were crying. Freaking Zoe looked like as if she wanted to just freaking start bawling into tears. And so when Rumi then goes to confront Jinu, that's when she learns the truth about it. And it shatters my heart. It shatters my heart. And Celine, gosh darn it, Celine. Rumi goes to Celine trying to get comfort. And Celine freaking is like, oh, it's okay. You know, we just have to hide the marks. We just have to hide the marks. And, you know, eventually they'll go away. They'll go away. And Rumi's like, woman, did you not see what hiding my marks have done for the past like 20 years? Which is also, another little hiccup that I saw earlier was like, I think the reason why her marks didn't appear that much when she was younger was because the secrets weren't, you know, that strong. Like the secrets weren't that big. But now that she's older, you know, obviously the secrets are stronger and she's having to, you know, hide them more. She can't go to the bathhouse with her friends. She's constantly wearing long sleeves. And like Rumi rightfully calls her out on it. She's like, all I wanted to do was to love, like all I wanted you to do was to love me. But you clearly can't do that. And then she leaves. And Celine just sits there crying. And this, in my opinion, is a brilliant examination of how generational trauma can continue. Because in Rumi's mind, literally, she lost her mother. Celine was the mother that she had. But even then, she could clearly tell from an early age that Celine did not fully love her. Because her mother was because her mother ended up being with a demon. Which, there was one of the creators of the show made a post on Twitter, I believe, or refused to call it the other name, but made a twist on Twitter talking about how in one of the original rights they had Celine killed Rumi's mother, and I feel like that should have stayed. Okay, I feel like that should have stayed. It would give the perfect clip, the perfect kick Rumi would have had, like that kick that Star-Lord had in freaking Guardians of the Galaxy. This clip right here.
It broke my heart to put that tumor in her head. What?
Like imagine having that thought that the person that you looked up to was the one who actually killed your mother. For, I can't remember like what the reason that they said she was. It could have been like a disagreement or something. But I feel like, oh, that would have been such a better gut punch. And so when the Saja boys are performing Your Idol, which, full disclosure, that is my number 2. Your Idol is such a good song. It is such a good song. It is hauntingly beautiful. The message is clear. The lyrics, oh, they sync so good. I also love that Gima is freaking Baby's hype man, because why was his flame getting bigger and bigger as Baby is, you know, having his moment? I loved it. I absolutely loved it. But then when Rumi interrupts it and she sings their song What It Sounds Like, which is my number one, it was perfect. I also love within like 2.5 seconds of her opening her mouth, freaking Mira and Zoe, who were in a trance this whole time, just snap out of it and start singing with her, which I'm like, oh, their hearts are connected, y'all. Their hearts are connected. It had me getting ready to start crying. Like I said, if you guys want to see my whole breakdown of watching this movie with my sister, it is over my Patreon, because it is one. I just love being able to be unfiltered, I'm not gonna lie, and being able to just talk about how I felt. This was one of the best movie endings, because then while they're fighting, oh my gosh, Huntrix, they fight back and they free the crowd. And then Jinwoo sacrifices himself to save Remy. And he like puts his soul into her sword. And I'm like, the tragic lovers, I was getting ready. I tell you guys, tears were in my, I wasn't crying, but tears were in my eyes. Because he tells her, you gave me my soul back. And I'm like, ah, why? Just, what are you gonna do now that you've done killed me?
So what are you gonna say at my funeral now that you've killed me?
And then they defeat Gima and, you know, the rest of the Saja boys. And then here's the thing, rather than sealing the Hun Moon, they make a new Hun Moon. It's not golden. It's like iridescent and shimmery. And I love it. Oh my gosh, I love it. And now that Rumi is no longer afraid of her marks, she can relax with Mira, Zoe, and they're having a time off. You know, they're having time off and they're hanging out with their friends. They're hanging out with each other. She's wearing looser clothes. You know, she's able to like just be herself. She's going to the bathhouse, and it was a overall good film. However, I do have some things that did kind of give me the side eye. Like this kind of, some things that did make me side eye. Number one, the girl with the afro puffs in the beginning of the film. Okay, I have to unfortunately be that friend who's too woke, because we need to have a conversation overall. The afro puffs, not honestly, not about the afro puffs, but how K-pop in general gets its old aesthetic from Black culture. I know for some reason I saw online there's this big push of keep K-pop, keep the Korean in K-pop, or bring the Korean back in K-pop, and I hate to be that person, but unfortunately that was never there to begin with. And especially modern K-pop, like I'm gonna put a few examples here. But there is a big problem that has to be addressed when it comes to culture appropriation of Black culture and K-pop. Like the creators, the freaking agencies have all admitted that they used to have freaking Tinashe study sessions, Janet Jackson, Britney Spears, the Destiny's Child. Like it's something that I, unfortunately, as a Black K-pop stan, have to be hyper aware of, because there are people who are like, oh, keep the Korean in K-pop, oh, keep the outside influence out of K-pop. And it's impossible for you to keep something that's out of K-pop that was there in its very foundation. Now, I'm not saying it's a bad thing that K-pop has been inspired by Black culture. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. My problem is, and a lot of other Black creators have talked about this who have reviewed this movie, is that a lot of K-pop people are, one, do not want to give, the black groups and the Black singers their flowers. Like I said, Tinashe and Janet Jackson, you guys, I'm not gonna lie, part of me felt as if they deserve half of this check. Like half of the check that came from this movie. Other times, you have the fans that are extremely racist towards Black and brown, fans as well. And it's like, you guys should not be this hateful, in my opinion, towards something that was made originally, I will say originally, maybe as an homage, but now has, transformed and changed. However, when I say transformed and changed, there's also been like a very big reveal that a lot of the K-stars are very much racist. A lot of the idols are racist themselves. Looking at you, Jenny. Looking at you, Lisa. Basically, Blackpink in general. Well, some of the people in Blackpink, not all of them. And it's like, in the year of Beyonce's internet of 2025, I personally believe there is no excuse to be racist or to be this ignorant in certain aspects, And I'm not saying you cannot enjoy this movie and be like, oh, well, this is Black culture and that is Black culture and that. No, not at all. This is a very, 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 very good movie, and I love the clear love that was put into it when it came to like the Korean folklore. I love for example, I love the designs of the demons. Like, yeah, they're called demons, but I think like, the Korean word is something else. But they're not drawn as like, standard Western demons are drawn. They're drawn in the style of like Korean art, and I love that. Like you have some of them with one eye, with two eyes, with three eyes. I think I saw one with four eyes. Like the designs are super, super unique. And that's great. I love that the music, you can clear, like, even though, you can still hear a little bit of Americanized tunes in it, it still gives very much K-pop. I love that each of the girls honestly have their different problems. Like, Rumi doesn't want to let people in. Mira feels like as if that the girls are her only family because her original family rejected her. And then you have, oh my gosh, you have sweet, innocent Zoe, who is going through the whole, I don't feel as if, I'm Korean enough because I was born and raised in America, which ties with how so many kids who are born and raised in America, but then they end up going back to like the land of their parents and they feel as if they're out of place because they've been, quote, Americanized. Like, it's so well layered, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Now, if there is a second movie or a TV show, I'm not sure personally how I would feel about about the second thing, because a lot of people say, oh, they should do world tour and they should then be able to go around the world and learn different styles of music and, have to reseal the honeymoon and all that stuff. I personally, it's just my opinion, I personally do not fully trust them to do that and get things correctly. Just me. That's just my full opinion. However, I would give it a chance because the world is diverse, and I really also don't believe that there's only one group of demon hunters in the whole world. Because out of everything, you're not telling me that freaking Michael Jackson, Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, like Prince, okay, so, like not Taji B Henson, Tory Braxton, that like Tony Braxton was not up there stealing the honeymoon for generations. Like when I can assure you, when Destiny's Child was a thing, they sang "Lose My Breath" one time or "Say My Name" one time and steal the honeymoon for the next like 20 years. And you know what? Now that I think about it, no, I would like to see them go around the world because this obviously takes place in modern day. But I swear to God that if they come to America and they go to Los Angeles and it's a certain demographic up there, I will lose my crap. Because Los Angeles, like Compton as a whole, is the home of rap music. They're better out. Like all I can say is that that group better be black. That is all I'm saying. The rest of the world, I do not care. But if they go to LA, they better be black. You know what? What if they had a cameo of certain people? What if they had a cameo with certain singers from Oakland too? Because also a lot of our singers are from Oakland. Ooh, who would you guys actually like to see in the different groups in the world? You know what? That's actually... You know what? Comment down below. What groups would you guys like to say? Which trio do you think would be like, you know, the American Demon Hunters? I kind of have an idea, but I'm gonna think it over. Oh my gosh, I'm starting to ramble. But look, if you guys like this video, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Because unfortunately, algorithms do not love Black queer verses unless you do. So please support a girl who's out here decoding the media metrics, calling out nonsense with love. I promise you guys, I roast with love, and fighting for representation like it's a full-time job. Because, well, it is. And even if you didn't like it, still subscribe. I mean, like, you clearly still have interesting tastes by still being here. See you later, guys. Bye.